Hello and welcome to Cafe X podcast. My name is Sufi, and this is our first episode. I have with me a very special guest, and let me give you a little bit information about my guest. He needs no introduction because he's already famous in his circles, but you people will also know about him in a time to come. I found him very inspiring. He's an author, he is an artist, he is a writer, and he is a publisher with an engineering background. So let's know more about a person who is so many things and in a single person. So please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much. First of all, thank you so much for having me into this creative and wise space. So I believe that there should be some talk between two people with different perspectives. We should do it quite often, if not every day, but sometimes.
Right.
So it's a very good initiative that you have started
Thank you.
out there, and I feel so lucky to be the first one to go with to begin with. So my name is Saraf, and I'll not entitle myself with all the things you told about me. I'm just a learner, okay, and a seeker of the beyond. That's how I introduce myself.
Okay.
Yes.
So let me tell my audience that I have found Saraf in my cafe. He is with us since the very beginning as a member, as a guest, but in recent past he had been visiting cafe and doing his stuff, and what he has been doing he'll tell about that himself. So tell us about your journey.
So my journey, my artistic journey, since I'm a lover of art.
Okay.
So back a time ago, I chose a form of art, music. There's a reason I chose this form of art where I would have gone with something else. I'm an art lover and enthusiast about. I'm so enthusiastic about art.
Okay.
Any form of art, every form of art, I would say. But I chose this form of art because there's this deep connection with music. I have been so deeply connected with music from a time now. So it all started when I used to sit in Sufi ensembles.
Okay.
I don't know if people know about Sufi gatherings, Sufi ensembles, but it's something kind of spiritual thing. It's something mystic
Okay.
where one travels on a path, a spiritual path, and I don't want to go deep down into this. I don't want to discuss religion
Okay.
here. Let's make it simple and let's make it formal.
Okay.
So my music journey dated back that time very long ago, but I had this thing in my mind that I have to go at one fine time. I'll go with music,
Okay.
not as a career, not as a form of earning, but at least for me, for myself, I do
As a
this
passion.
as a passion. As a passionate art lover, I'll go with this form of art. So that is how I started it, and a year back a year ago, I had my hands on rabab.
So that's what I was coming to.
Yes.
There are so many musical instruments. Which among them?
There are so many musical instruments. Most of them you see are from West.
Oh yes, right.
Since there's this saying that there is good and bad.
Right.
So there are types of music also.
Exactly. Bilkul.
It can be good and it can be bad. What's good and what's bad, who decides it?
It's a person.
It's the person who decides it. If it's something compelling, something very strong, you feel connected to it, you feel connected to something you don't know, then you can categorize it into good music. And
Right.
I'm from that form of music. I believe in that form of music. And there are other things that you listen to. They don't benefit you. I don't know if they do, maybe,
Okay.
but they don't benefit me. What benefits me, what always has benefited me, is good music.
Okay. So speaking about music again, now we have, as you divided it into two types: a good music and a bad music.
Bad music.
Now, seeing your inclination, you had been mostly into Sufism.
Yes, I do.
So, can you speak more about the instrument that you talk about? Does it have any spiritual
Yes,
connotation?
exactly. That I was about to come there. So why rabab, you may ask?
Yes, exactly. That's
Why
my
not some
question.
other instrument like a guitar or a violin or something else? Why rabab? Because when I used to go to the Sufi gatherings, when I used to sit in Sufi gatherings, the rabab was and the rabab is the most cherished and the most loud instrument.
It's all right. Let's keep it like this. Okay.
It's the most loud and most cherished instrument.
Instruments. True.
So why, you may ask?
Yes.
Because it holds a significance, a spiritual significance. Rabab. That's what made me go with it. That's why when I started music, I started with the rabab.
Okay.
For people who don't know, who have seen me having a guitar in my hand,
Okay.
for people who have seen me singing some songs that are from Bollywood, of course they are. But if you focus on the lyrics, I don't do any song. If you focus on their lyrics, if you see to their lyrics, what was written, it was not actually a song. It was a piece of poetry that was,
Written.
turned into a song. That was turned into a
For a
song.
movie, yes.
Yes. Why guitar? Because the chords play well.
Okay.
They fit that form of poetry. They fit that form of. I can sing them on rabab, but they are not meant for rabab.
Right.
The things people have seen me singing, they are not meant for rabab. It's just for a,
Different
like
musical instrument or
it's just for that. In that case, when I came here, I quite often come here. You might have seen me
Yes,
quite
of course.
often,
That's how we met.
having a cup of coffee. I sit alone at this very point, and I saw a guitar in your cafe. This very thing. So I just held it and played some chords and few notes, and that's all I do when I come here.
Okay.
Because you don't have a rabab. If you did, I would have picked up a rabab.
Right.
So for people who have seen me, they tell me that why are you doing all of this? Because we don't know you as a guitarist. We know you something who is connected to God, who is a Sufi kind of,
Thing.
who holds a
Person.
Sufi kind of personality. They speak that about me. I don't know why, because I have always seen myself a great sinner.
Okay.
I am a great sinner. And there is no shame in accepting that you sin. I do it every day. So that's what makes me a human.
Right.
Sinning is what makes you a human. Okay, you should know that. But for them who tell me that you should not go with that kind of thing, it's okay if you are into rabab and that spiritual kind of thing. But for them, I would like to tell them that in order to know the good, you need to know both the good and the bad.
You need to know first.
You need to know, first of all, you need to know. Okay.
Indeed.
Then you can differentiate between what's good and what's bad. You have to know both.
Now you have touched this thing. I know that we live in a very conservative sort of society.
Yes, we do.
Where actually music and musicians are not encouraged
They are not.
to take it as a profession or even to perform it as a passion. So, what was the resistance? What were the hurdles that you faced, or what was it actually? How was your journey?
So I just want to tell that it is not something I do for a living. Music is not something I do for a living. I earn nothing out of it. This is just for, I'm
You're
quite
passionate
passionate
about
about
it and
music, and that's all. I'm inspired by the Sufi gatherings, and I am sometimes a part of them.
Okay.
I do go to ensembles, Sufi ensembles, where I play rabab. They are my friends, with my friends, with my other Sufi friends, I would say. So I'm not a Sufi as such. I'm also not a religious man as people see me. This does not make you a religious man.
Indeed.
So yeah, I'm just quite interested in whatever connects me.
Okay.
Whatever I feel like is, taking me on that thing I always wanted to go with. because you have always, no, I have always been trying to find myself.
So I believe that it is that Sufi connection which made you choose Rabab, or it's
Exactly.
Rabab which you,
See, there are these things. Maulana Rumi says that what you are seeking is already seeking you.
Yes.
So I believe that it was somehow, it was not me who chose it. It was
The Rabab
Wow,
who chose
me.
Saraf.
I don't know. I don't know how people would react to that, but it is what it
So
is.
I believe that. So you didn't have this thing in mind a decade before that somewhere down the line you are going to go ahead with an instrument, or you're going to
I
play.
did.
Okay, you had
I
this.
did. Yes, I have been associated with Rabab from years and years.
Okay.
But back then I didn't know how to play it. I didn't know what it is. I didn't know how much of significance it holds.
It holds.
I don't know. I didn't know its importance and all of that.
Mhm.
But when I read about it, when I experienced it
Hmm.
in those Sufi gatherings, when I experienced it, so I came to know the importance. I came to know why it's quite loud, why it is cherished,
Okay.
and why should I go for it.
Okay. So apart from music, uh, I know that you are an author. I have read your book. I know that you have helped people in publishing their works. You are a publisher as well. So, talking about writing or reading, what sort of reading or what is your hobbies?
Yeah. So about my reading stuff and writing stuff, that also mostly revolves around mysticism, Sufism,
Hmm.
or religious, kind of thing. I don't go. I'm not an expert.
Hmm.
I don't go with religion as such, because you need to have that proper hold when you talk about religion. I don't think everybody talks about religion, even if they don't know about it.
Right.
They must have heard about it, or nobody reads.
Exactly. I believe that spirituality has nothing to do with
Do
the
with
religion,
reading.
and it is
And
your heart, so it's your creator. So that is, I think, to my
yes,
understanding.
spirituality has nothing to do with, there is a connection.
Yes.
When you get connected, then there is no other such thing in between.
Right.
So it is the connection. If it's there, it's there. If it's not, you're not ready for it.
Okay.
But someday it has to be. Eventually, we have to get connected to him someday.
True.
And one fine day, we'll all see
We
him.
have to connect.
We have to see him
Yes.
one fine day. That is Alme Arwa.
Hmm.
And we'll be shown that again what we were
Like what a game.
what we were seeing. Because I read that when we were in Alme Arwa, when our Lord asked us, "Who's your Lord?" Bata ki kya main tera Rab nahi? Am I not your God? So what we as humans told is, Bala, yes, you are our Lord. But we did not tell it we were not. I have read that we were not in our senses. Why? Because the beauty of our Lord was such that
we were lost.
we were lost. And what we could say is that yes. So that will come again. We have to face that again. We have to see our Lord. We have to get connected again. And we will, inshallah. So someday, that's what I am looking for.
Okay. So now, knowing about your journey, I am quite inspired. And what would be your message to the people who are passionate about certain things, but they never gathered courage? Because I have myself, and you yourself might have seen people very talented, or people willing to work, but somehow.
See, sometimes it's about inspiration, sometimes it's about encouragement. Someone is quite dedicated, but he lacks that inspiration, that encouragement. So I would want to tell them that don't look for it, in people, in other people. Look for it in yourself. Find yourself, you will find everything else. When you find yourself, पहुंचा मैं आपको तो पहुंचा खुदा तहीं, मालूम मुझे अब हुआ कि बहुत मैं भी दूर था. So it is a great thing which has inspired me so much. So that is what you have to do. You have to look within. Even the God himself says that you cannot find me unless you find yourself. So all of the inspiration, all of the other things you're looking out there, don't do that. Just follow your passion with your heart.
Okay.
Go with your heart. See, there are things that, for example, if you are being criticized, you will somehow think about it. It's a common human nature that you'll think about it. Why this happened, why he argued with me, or why he criticized me, why he did this and that. So don't think about it. If you are doing something with your heart, then you should let your heart decide. The heart has no brain. It doesn't think. It goes the way it wants to, the way it feels connected. It goes its way.
Okay.
See, don't think about it. Don't look at other people. Don't look for inspiration. Don't look outside. Look inside of you, because somehow at the end they'll not go with you. At the end they'll not encourage you completely. Maybe some do, maybe some not, and it's your own people.
They will rather discourage you.
It's your own people who someday will turn against you.
Okay.
Even if you're standing on truth, they'll turn against you, and just because they want to save their otherworldly relations, just because your truth doesn't benefit them, they'll choose the false.
Right.
If the truth doesn't benefit them, they'll go with the false. They'll go with something that will benefit them. Obviously, everybody wants their benefit.
Right.
So to all of the people who are looking for encouragement, who are looking for inspiration in other people, don't do that. Follow your passion. Go with your heart. Look inside of you. Seek beyond. That is the most important thing. That we are confined. We confine ourselves to certain things.
Right.
We confine our vision. Don't confine your vision. Go beyond everything. Seek beyond.
Okay.
Be a seeker of the beyond.
So the message is loud and clear that if you have a passion and you want to follow it, go with your heart, mind and soul. Don't think about people perspective. There will be people who will not encourage you, rather they'll discourage you. So Saraf tells you that to follow your passion, and I was actually reading it somewhere that it's not the self-affirmations you say yourself in a mirror that I should do this thing or I should perform this way. It is the work that you put in. So how much importance do you give to the work that goes into the background when talking about particularly about your instrument or about your passion?
So you have to work hard. Obviously, you have to be dedicated towards your passion. It's not that you will only think of it and it will happen. Nothing happens
overnight.
You have to work for it.
Right.
If you see me with a rabab in your cafe, it's not something that happened overnight. It took years on years.
Right.
It took so much of dedication that I cannot tell you. And to those people, if I tell them, to those people who discourage, if I tell them, maybe they'd not discourage me anymore, but then doesn't matter. It's not important that I'll tell them how much of hard work I have put into
Goes
this
into it.
and why. The why part is the most important part. In spirituality, they say that if you understand this thing, you understand it. If you don't understand, then you are not ready yet. So to people who don't understand, you're not ready yet.
So that's it. We are. This was our first episode, and he's our budding artist, and soon you're going to see a very bright star in him. I want you people to be our next guest. This is our cafe. You can read over here. You can play any musical instruments. You can simply come over here and enjoy coffee. And if you have any passion, go ahead and follow it with your heart, mind, and soul. And do it every day. This is how a passion is developed. And don't stop until people say that you are talented. So thank you so much for joining us. And thank you, Saraf, for coming, for joining us today on the show.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.